22nd day of September 2022. A very good evening to you from wherever you are watching us live. We're coming to you live from our Nairobi studios right here at TV47. Welcome to the bulletin. My name is Stanley Irungita. Now we start on a high note where Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur has lashed out at a section of Kenya Kwanza leaders who he claims are issuing misleading statements on the financial status of the country. Speaking in Naivasha during Senator's induction program, Yatani denied claims that the country's coffers are empty. This is in response to claims by leaders allied to the Kenya Kwanza alliance who claim the national coffers had only 98 million shillings when the new administration assumed office.
We argue out of ignorance. Like now, immediately after election, some leaders were saying that, okay, they did not find the coffers were empty, the treasury did not have money, there was only 93 million shillings that was found there. And we find it very, really, I don't know whether sympathize with the situation, because there's a lot of ignorance about it. Government does not collect money, stores in one place, keeps for 1 month, and then distribute after 1 month or after 1 year. We raise revenue on daily basis, and we fund government on daily basis. And we've also realized that over time, the counties have over-relied on the equitable share and completely ignored own source revenue. If you look at the county councils and the municipal councils of those times, they collect more revenue than the current one.
Moving on, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has today flagged off subsidized fertilizers. The consignment delivery of the subsidized fertilizer will first be dispatched to counties during the expected short rain seasons. Addressing the press at the Harambee House Annex, the second-in-command said the commissioning was in accordance with the directives issued by President William Ruto of providing affordable fertilizers to farmers.
We have identified fertilizer for immediate intervention due to its potential, immediate and profound impact on agricultural productivity in the medium term as well as in the long term. In this regard, that one of our first pronouncements was to lower fertilizer prices to set the pace for the implementation of this intervention, dubbed the Fertilizer Subsidy Program. The National Treasury has already availed 3.55 billion towards this intervention. Under this program, the government, through the National Cereals and Produce Board, will make available 1.4 million bags of 50 kg of fertilizer to farmers during the ongoing short rains season at the prices as stipulated here below. The new cost of DAP will be 3,500 from nearly 7,000. The price of CAN will be 2,875. The cost of urea, again, that was way beyond 7,000, will be 3,500. NPK, 3,275. MOP, 1,775, while sulfate of ammonia will be 2,220.
Right, now to the corridors of justice and a witness in the 63 billion Kenyan shillings graft case facing former Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich has declined to give his evidence. Appearing before trial magistrate Lawrence Mugambi, Gideon Kiprotich said that he was not aware that he was a prosecution witness in the case. The witness further disowned the statement given to him by Special Prosecutor Taibu Ali Taibu, saying that it was the first time he was seeing the statement. He told the court that he was only called yesterday by officers from Director of Criminal Investigations to the effect that he appears before the Anti-Corruption Court in Milimani Low-Courts for purpose of giving any evidence in a case facing Rotich and others. The witness is among other accused persons who were initially charged with Rotich and later charges were dropped, and he was made prosecution witnesses. Among the accused persons include former Principal Secretary in the National Treasury Kamau Thuge, who is also expected to testify against Rotich. The case will be heard on November 12, 2022.
not yet received the email communicating the documents that this witness was going to refer to, and I wish to observe this. Mr. Osiemo was present in court yesterday, and so was Mr. Kangai. Your Honor, we did indicate publicly that we were going to share the documentation by way of email to all the council. I'm surprised, Your Honor, it would appear we were all listening to different things, because yesterday I did mention that we were going to supply the defense. Immediately the court rose. But I have noted Mr. Osiemo and Mr. Kangai, for some reason best known to them, they are not in the group email.
Politics now, and cracks continue to emerge in the Kenya Kwanza alliance as leaders position themselves ahead of the Bungoma senatorial by-election following the election of Moses Wetangula as National Assembly Speaker. The UDA members from 9 constituencies in Bungoma allude that the former Bumula MP Mwambu Mabonga must be in the race to succeed Wetangula. Addressing the press in Bungoma town, the residents have castigated the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula for what they term as selfishness following the declaration by Ford Kenya Party members they will be seeking the same position.
Kenya support a UDA candidate. However, in a surprising show, Ford Kenya MPs from Bungoma County are adamantly claiming that the Senate seat is their birthright. In the words of Kapchai Member of Parliament, Honorable Majimbo Kalasinga, they can't give up their birthright for what he calls a birthright plate of food. Whereas they have a right to field a candidate claiming that Bungoma Senate seat is Fort Kenya birthright is a fallacy that must not be allowed to stand. We will vehemently resist all attempts to impose a senator on us.
Ilikuwa wazo letu ya kwamba wao pia wangesimama na sisi wote tuko kwa mrengo wa Kenya Kwanza. So pia hao wangesimama na sisi kusupport mheshimiwa wetu mwenye tunamsimamisha. Lakini kulingana na wao wanasema watasimamisha mheshimiwa wao, ambapo si makosa, lakini tunajaribu kuangalia Bungoma, watu wa Bungoma wanahitaji leadership, na leadership ambayo haitakuwa ya chama kimoja, haitakuwa Bungoma tu ni Ford Kenya.
Lakini mnachukua vitu zote. Kwani sisi tuko Kenya gani, my friend? Angalia, look at the national government, how my own president William Samoei Ruto aliorganize vitu zake. Alipea deputy speaker alipea speaker of the National Assembly akapea Western. Deputy speaker akapatia na ikenda Rift Valley. Tunataka vitu kama hizo. Lakini kikuja vitu kwa Bungoma mnaanza kuchukua nyinyi asifu nyinyi wenyewe ndio watu, my friend. Hiyo tumekataa na hiyo inaenda kugwama round.
Switching gears now, in a bid to curb road carnage, road safety players have introduced new stickers for public service vehicles meant to reduce road carnage. The stickers will be fitted free of charge on all PSVs and trucks to ensure they do not exceed the 80 km/h speed limit. The same gadgets which have watermarks will also be fixed on private cars, which are required by law to maintain a maximum speed of 110 km. Speed Governor and Road Safety Association Chairman Edward Gitonga has appealed to matatu and bus owners to ensure the gadgets are fitted on their vehicles.
I call upon all vehicles that have speed limiting gadgets to take them back to the suppliers for checking and the validation for free. Our recall sticker has several watermarks, which makes almost impossible to copy. We call upon the vehicle owners to take advantage of free recall exercise and bring back vehicles for repairs.
We have lost so many lives that those figures they were giving were not the correct figures, because they were giving the figures of those people who perish direct on the spot. But those people who die, who are taken to hospital, they did not have those figures. And that is why even we agreed that the multi-agency must work with even hospitals so that those people who die after this accident, the numbers can be known.
Now to a story that is biting the country hard. National Council of Churches of Kenya has called on the national government to declare famine and drought as a national disaster. The church leaders have at the same time urged the government to safeguard the lives of Kenyans. Speaking in Limuru, Kiambu County, NCCK Secretary General Chris Kinyanjui urged President William Ruto to caution Kenyans against the high cost of living.
The congregation gets to know who is here.
Let us have the government declare the famine a national disaster so that all the resources within the states, all the resources within the non-state actors are all focused on ensuring that we have no one dies of food or starvation, and the animals are also protected, and that we prepare ourselves for the disaster that we are dealing with. The public is complaining about the cost of living, and they're asking their government, bring down the cost of living. So we urge the government to respond to the cry of the people. We know it's a big task, but that is why he was elected, and I know, we all know he is capable of doing that. And the advice we have gotten from economists is that the debt that we have can only be sustainable if the economy is growing. And therefore, it is important that the current administration comes up with strategies that can grow the economy, that can be able to repay the debt, and be able to meet the needs of our people.
Right, still on the whole drought situation, Olmoran residents in Laikipia County have called on the government to support them with the seeds and fertilizer to facilitate the planting season. The residents claim that although they had planted as usual, the maize crops and beans were destroyed by armyworms and persistent dry weather spell. And as a result, their hope to harvest has dwindled. Residents claim despite the fact that they were issued the seeds, they have nothing to show since their crops were completely destroyed. They also want the government to offer them relief food.
Vita ilikuwa wakati mbaya, wakati hiyo vita ilianza, tulikuwa na machakura masamba. Sasa wakati tulichomewa manyumba yetu, hiyo machakura yote pakoti wakakura. Sasa tukakuwa na shida ya njaa na shida ya manguo Saudi tulichomewa. Sasa tukakuwa na shida sana.
Tunapenda kulima. Lakini saa hii ya mwaka huu, tunasahau chakula kabisa. Mbolea hakuna, mahindi simuona hakuna. Tukae namna gani? Tusaidie.
Right now to some health matters and a quite a controversial topic. Less than 500 men have embraced family planning options as compared to over 5 million women every year. This is according to the Ministry of Health that says societal patriarchal norm is a major factor hindering more men from seeking family planning services. The ministry further says that the total number of people who visited health facilities for family planning services reduced by 500,000 between 2020 and 2021.
I know you have been meeting before as health journalists, but we used our data and then you represent it wrongly. So that is where then we should need to converge and appreciate that the two sides come to understand why perhaps they were not as fast in giving information as.
If you have 2 kids and maybe you're 25 or 22 or 23, how many years of productive life do you have? You have another 20 years minimum or 30 years of reproduction. So what do you use? Do you want to go for 5-year method 6 times, or you go for BTL, or you ask Mzee aende? In fact, the Mzee will have been much more effective because we don't grace from the same. It will be much more effective, but African men, tumekata. So that's a hard nut to crack.
Drop of about 400, close to 500,000 actually, visits to health facilities for family planning services in the year 2021-2022. We are now on the upward trend, but not as much as we would anticipate. We still continue to work with the county governments to ensure that, and partners to ensure that we regain the gains that we had done prior to COVID-19.
At the same time, Lugha Ishara, a non-governmental organization, has joined the world in commemorating the International Week of Those with Hearing Impairment, aimed to build an all-inclusive communities for all. The event has sought for interventions that will ensure a greater advantage to children with hearing impairment, especially in the education sector. The objective to raise awareness of those with hearing impairment.
We are here to just create awareness, to say they are not dumb. If they do other things, they can, if you give them, they dance.
So I hope like other parents of kids who can't hear, who can hear, can talk to their kids that yes, there are deaf children out here. They're just like you. You can play with them, interact with them normally, so that even the deaf kids can feel included in society.
Most of the times, parents fear to expose their children to other languages, and I would say that government would help to help these parents know that it's a language like any other. How? By including sign language in the education system, and not from the upper classes, from kindergarten going up, so that this child learns with this language from 0 to up, that they know it's part of my...
We have also realized a major intervention done by the government, especially on the curriculum that you're having right now, the CBC. They have tried to get to make sure it is more digitalized, having virtual classes, and you will have, for example, the one that has been mentioned, the Tusome, that the deaf person can actually use her phone or maybe the laptop, or probably in the class they can just have a very inclusive class when just following whatever is happening through the phone.
Right, you should really learn sign language. It is fun, by the way. Sign language, quite fun. Now to County 001, the Mombasa City County Government has formed 2 task forces that will focus on financial and health issues in the county. Addressing journalists in his office, Mombasa County Governor Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir said that the task force will help the county with relevant issues to be able to support the functioning of the county government. Mahmoud Noor will be in charge of the finance committee, while Dr. Chibanzi Mwachonda will be in charge of the health sector task force in the county. Nasir has also emphasized that the working groups will contribute a lot in solving various issues bedeviling the county.
We're looking at ways that we can be able to say that economies of scale, how purchase of medicine and non-medical items as well can be centralized, so that the county government, all its facilities can have a low rate in terms of purchasing of those. We also want to see, in terms of disease patterns in every area, a situation where how we can be able to now use existing facilities. And the first facility, whether in Likoni, we need to have a possibility of having 1 unit being able to be transformed into just maternity, and these are just examples that I'm providing to you. And then thereafter as well, in terms of the level of workforce. So if at all we need to employ doctors or clinical officers or nurses, where they should be deployed in every one of these areas.
All right, now let's go over to Nakuru County, specifically in Naivasha, where it is the third day of the Senate induction process, basically panel beating and refining the third Senate. Basically, where very own Willie Dennis Njiru is. Njiru, a very good evening to you. Looks quite a shiny and bright day in Naivasha right now. Take us up to speed on what is happening. Yesterday, we obviously were expecting Mother Koome to be there, but then she sent a voice recording. Today, we also saw Ukur Yatani. Who else is in that particular place?
Thank you very much, my colleague in studio. Indeed, as you've just told our viewers, we are coming to you live from Naivasha, where the team has been holding its sessions inside here. And as we talk right now, everybody has moved out. Only the Senate, not even the Secretariat inside. But unlike we have indeed shared with our viewers, and like you in the studios, is money matters have been a grueling issue here. And in the morning session, we had the CS Ukur Yatani, who has since left. The Speaker Senate also has left for other assignments. But in that session, we had issues regarding to do with the attachments of both sides between the national government and the Senate. And as the situation is right now, things are seeming to be harnessing and coming together. And the ODM former the Nairobi senator, that is, actually he has given his confidence that soon we are going to have one Senate that is going to be speaking for the nation. And we have seen a good rapport between the UDA Secretary General Veronica as well, having a very good rapport in between them. And they are saying that it was time that they set aside their self-interest in regard to party issues and foster the well-being of the Kenyan people to ensure that Kenya realize the true dream of the devolution. Part also of the developments that have come in here is issues about what has been trending in former houses, where there has been no unity between houses, where factions and house committees have just been divided right in the middle, factoring that you have a good bill, you present it before Parliament, and seemingly because the bill does not come from your side, this is dropped by either of the factions. These are things we are waiting to see in the subsequent hours that are coming to ensure that we bring you up to speed in the latest development. From me here, Stanley, I take it back to you in studio.
Right, thank you, Willie Dennis Njiru, obviously in Naivasha, Nakuru County, where it is the third day of the Senate induction, obviously the whole refining them, taking them up to speed on what really has to be done, the roles of the senators, and now to the world of sports. The wonderful world of sports. Ferdinand Omanyala was earlier today named the Sports Personality of the Month for August at the Sports Journalists Association Awards. Omanyala, who has won the feat twice, has expressed his delight, insisting that the award will go a long way in inspiring upcoming athletes as he aims to win more medals in the next season. Omanyala beat a field of nominees, among them Rugby Sevens Billy Thiambo, 800 meters Commonwealth gold medalist Mary Murrah, and Helen Wawira, who claimed bronze in para-power lifting in Birmingham as well.
Continue as sportswomen. It is thus our duty to contribute to this generational link in whichever way we are able to as a brand.
I've been looking forward to get a washing machine to my house, and God does things to do, He does things, So thanks to them, and I pray that may God continue giving them favor to continue inspiring the sportsmen and women out here.
Congrats, Omanyala. Now, Bright FC were crowned champions in the Kirima Sports 4 Peace Cup after defeating Security Operation Group SOG 6-3 at the Olmoran Stadium. Laikipia County, Bright FC emerged winners after penalty shootout after the game ended in a 2-2 in normal time, as each team was awarded balls in order to bolster their training. The tournament aimed to bring together various football teams in the region in an effort to call for peace among communities living in the area, which experiences banditry attacks and livestock theft.
Anakataa madifenda wa timu ya SJAK anakataa. Chukua Jonte anamtafuta wenzake hapa Abdullah anakataa. Anachukua nani? Kaston. Katikati mwanja. Inakuwa sasa ni mpira ukoelekeza katika lango la Milango. Cheza vizuri kabisa Milango. Katikati mwanja, kichwa kinakubali. Anacheza vizuri kabisa. Anainua mkono.